are superfoods? Well, superfoods are foods that, while they may be somewhat low in calories, per calorie, they contain tons of nutrients. So ideally in our diet, especially when we're trying to consume low-calorie diets, we want to make sure that we're getting lots of superfoods in our diet. These are foods that are going to fill us up. They're going to give us all the vitamins and nutrients that we need, and they're going to just do wonders for our energy and as well as our health. So I have 10 superfoods out here right now. I know it looks like we have more than that, but we're going to kind of break these down. The first superfood that we have is quinoa. So quinoa comes in different colors. We have the darker versions like the red, and you also see the white. Super high in protein, carbohydrates, fiber. It has all the amino acids, so this is just a wonderful food. I believe it was an Aztec grain. The red versions are going to have a little bit more, anytime you're finding something with a red pigment, you're going to find all sorts of these antioxidants they're going to be really rich. So both choices really, really good. Quinoa. The next superfood we have are berries, especially dark red berries. And we have, obviously we can do blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, all the berries, wonderful, wonderful superfoods. These are great, great things to throw into our next superfood. Yogurt, especially the Greek yogurt. Now the Greek yogurt's real nice because there's zero, for the Chobani yogurt you'll find zero cholesterol, zero fat, but it's super high in protein, almost twice as much protein as what you'll get in some of the normal yogurts. Also, we're choosing plain yogurt, so we're knocking down the sugar. Now, rather than sweetening yogurt with sugar, we can sweeten it with some fresh berries, so we're jumping up the antioxidants. And you can also, you know, with berries being so expensive these days, if you can't go out and pick them yourself, freeze them. Throw them in the freezer. You're still going to retain most of the nutrients there. And so that's a very cost-effective way to get your antioxidants there. So we have quinoa, yogurt, berries. Moving on, we have kiwi. Kiwis are loaded with vitamin C. As a matter of fact, 2 kiwis typically usually have fewer calories than 1 banana, and they also have a lot more potassium. So you've heard that the banana is the king of potassium. Kiwis are one of the kings of potassium too. They're a wonderful superfood. We have avocados. Avocados are high in fat calories, but they're high in the types of fat calories that our body prefers, the types of mono and polyunsaturated fats that are really, really good for our health. All sorts of nutrients in the kiwi. Makes a wonderful food. You just gotta be careful with the calories. You know, usually you want to eat small portions of the avocados. Remember that when you open the avocado, they spoil quickly, so you want to keep those covered and so those fats don't oxidize. If your kiwi or if your avocado looks dark brown, we've had it out a little too long. Next we have eggs, especially free-range eggs. We want chickens. We want eggs that are coming from chickens that are moving around and are getting a healthy diet. That's going to translate into their eggs as well as their meat. So when we're eating eggs and beef and any type of animal products, we want to make sure that the animal that we're eating is getting a healthy diet as well. So then we're getting those same nutrients. We have apples. Apples are filled with pectin, vitamin C, soluble, insoluble fiber. They're awesome. These are a great snack in the middle of the day. If you want to beef it up a little bit, up the protein, we could go to our next superfood, seeds and nuts. And we have all sorts of super seeds and nuts that we can throw in. We have chia seed, we have walnuts, almonds, flaxseed, even pumpkin seeds, really high in protein. Also, many seeds and nuts are high in fiber. So these are excellent superfoods. Almond butter. These are great foods to throw on those apple slices to up the calcium and the fiber and the protein. Again, nuts and seeds tend to be high in fat, so we want to be careful that we're not going overboard with those. We have to really make sure we're weighing those carefully. We also want to try to look for nuts that are sealed and that aren't being exposed to the air. The longer nuts sit out on the shelf, the longer the fats begin to oxidize, they start to spoil, and then we're starting to get some harmful fats there. So you usually want to keep those nuts in sealed containers and in dark areas. And then finally, well, actually, no, we got 2 more. Sorry, spoke too soon. We have lentils, and now with lentils, we have lots of different types of beans. We have the black beans, mung beans, garbanzo beans. We have peas, even peanuts are considered lentils. So, or legumes, I guess is the right word there. But one of the things that with beans is because they are oftentimes hard to digest, we want to make sure that they're cooked or even sprouted. I think sprouted beans are one of the best digestible sources of if you're gonna choose beans. These are actually sprouted beans here that are they're dehydrated, so they only take a short amount of time to cook. So if you're in a hurry, these are a great way to cook up beans, normally your beans are cooking for half an hour to an hour just to break those starches down and whatnot. So we also have, we can get some of the low sodium soup cups that are filled with some black beans, and you'll find that usually pretty high in protein. So this has 10 grams of protein per serving. So beans are high in protein, great filler food. Last but not least, we have fish. Now this is fish oil. This doesn't look like the fish here, but this is Arctic cod liver oil. Now fish is a superfood. It's filled with omega-3s, and we all need more omega-3s. And we especially need the types of omega-3s that are in fish, because unlike the omega-3s that we find in chia seed and some of these other plant-based sources of omega-3, they don't break down quite into the same active compounds of the DHA and EPA that we really need. And if we get a really high quality fish oil, we can make sure that it's molecularly distilled, removing the mercury and contaminants and whatnot, and get a really good superfood. So those are superfoods. Go out and enjoy some.